In a writer's workshop, students hear and become inspired by great literature and compelling nonfiction that the teacher reads aloud. Through reading and discussing these published works and authors, students develop a sense of curiosity and learn to ask questions to guide their thinking and writing. These texts also demonstrate the qualities of good writing, and students have many opportunities to use these qualities daily during their own writing time. Featuring the writing of your own students as authors is also a powerful instructional strategy to provide strong examples of text during writing lessons.
Hi, my name is Arlen Peebles with the Illinois Principals Association, and today I'm joined by Taylor Wenzel with the Center for the Collaborative Classroom. Taylor has developed an EdLeaders Network course called Building a Community of Writers. Taylor, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
First question I've got for you, Taylor, is what is the most important thing for improving writing skills?
So that's such a hard question to answer, to really pin it down to just one. But I think in our course and in our conversations around, writing instruction with teachers in this course, we really want to focus on the role of relationships in supporting students for writing. I think at the same time, though, I have had a hard time narrowing it down to just one, Arlen. I would have to say motivation at the same time. So how can we tap into students' intrinsic motivation and support them through the relationships that they have in the classroom so that they'll be motivated to share their writing?
And what are a couple of ways to do that? How do you tap into a young person's intrinsic motivation to write?
So it's important to give opportunities for students to connect with one another. Lots of chances to turn and talk to your partner about your ideas that you have before we expect them to go and actually put pen or pencil to paper. We also want to think about what are opportunities to really inspire or motivate them around specific ideas. So a lot of teachers will be able to share, I like teaching writing, but I have students that say, I don't know what to write about. I'm stuck. And they're sitting there. So using mentor texts can be helpful. And by that, we just mean texts that have been carefully selected with passages or excerpts that you might use to highlight a piece of writer's craft or give students ideas of what to write about. We can also use students' own writing. So use excerpts from students in your classroom or your own excerpts from a writer's notebook or a piece that you've written to get students excited to write.
Very nice. In the course, you talk about a writer's workshop. Can you briefly describe for me what that is?
Definitely. So the writer's workshop is really based around three main structures in your writing lesson. You would start with a section where you're helping students to get ready to write. So this will look like a mini lesson, a small bit of instruction where you might bring in one of those mentor texts or a sample of students' writing, but you're really focusing on a key targeted area to support their writing. The second part is the writing time, and this should be the bulk of the writing lesson. This is where students are writing on their own. You as a teacher are conferring with students to support them individually. And then the last part of the writer's workshop is where students are sharing and reflecting. So they get a chance to have an authentic audience, to share their pieces, and to talk about how writing went today, to reflect and set goals for the next day.
Nice. So how does this writer's workshop really help students? What does it do for them?
Well, it's helpful in one sense that it creates this predictable routine that in our class, writing is valued and we are going to have a time to write every single day. The workshop element really puts the independence on the student. And so they know that that's my time as in my writer's workshop to develop my craft, to try out new things, to maybe take a piece all the way through the writing process and publish it, or maybe try things that I want to explore a little bit, but I maybe don't really want to finish. And that's okay too. That title of workshop really lends itself to what you might imagine in a craftsman's workshop, where they get a chance to just tinker around, but also to make some really fine pieces. And so we think about doing the same in the classroom for our young writers.
What advice would you give to a teacher who's thinking about starting a writer's workshop in their class?
So I think that, a teacher can be motivated to want to set this up, but it's probably still really helpful to rely on some of the resources and the research that are around. So I would start by taking some time to just read up a little bit about the writer's workshop. We give an overview in this course in the first section that might help you get started, but there are also a lot of great resources out there that would help you really imagine what is this going to look like in my classroom? What materials or resources do I need to have in place? During that writing time, if you're conferring as a teacher teacher with students, you want the rest of that time to go uninterrupted. So you want to build a space in your classroom where your students can get the materials that they need, paper, writing utensils. If they get to the publishing phase, all of the different fun, exciting elements that are going to help them bring their stories to life. So for a teacher, there's a lot of planning and anticipation of what this will look like in your classroom, that you'd want to start with to embark on. But we're excited and hope that participants that watch the course will find out more about how to get started and get ready.
That's great. And how do you connect the social emotional learning skills to writing in this course?
So for us, in thinking about, writing instruction, as an organization, we're focused on supporting students to care for, learn from, and respect one another. And so we really wanted to think about the relationship opportunity that happens within writing. Writing is a really personal act. And so thinking about the partnerships that students can have with one another to get ideas, to share their writing, even to have peer conferences in the process will help develop social emotional learning competencies that will carry forward to other parts of their day and other parts of their life. We also want to rely on the key component of the teacher-student relationship. And so the one-on-one conferences that you have with children in writing instruction are kind of unique. It's different than a one-on-one math lesson or a one-on-one, science conference that we might have about content. Students are sharing about their lives and about themselves many times in their writing pieces. And so as teachers, we can build relationships in that process as well.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Taylor, and all of your hard work on this course. For our viewers out there, below the video in the description field, you can get to a link that will take you directly to the course Building a Community of Writers by Taylor Wenzel with the Center for the Collaborative Classroom. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.